Good. All right. Welcome to the Points in the Paint podcast, Stadium's NBA podcast. I'm Ben Wittenstein.
I am Zach Badgerhouse, always in the house. And Dougie Fresh is in the house, too. Dougie Fresh is on the mic. You know, we got Dougie.
We got Doug Watley and Mike.
Yeah, we got Dougie.
He's moved
Fresh
up in
and
the
Mike.
world.
Who would have thought?
Look at that.
There
He's
he
talking.
is. There he is.
Who's that voice? No one would have thought. Doug's on the pod. We love it. He's going to be
Yes,
chirping.
yes.
I'm excited.
I am, too. Make sure you tell the people where we get the podcast.
Anywhere you get the podcast. Stitcher, Spotify, Apple. We're on YouTube. We're on Twitter at Points Paint. You can see our lovely faces with some video clips. We're everywhere you can find your pod, anywhere you find tweets, anywhere you find videos. We are all over the place because, Zach, we are talking conference finals, and they might be over soon. We might be talking about the finals pretty soon because these are going to be some quick conference final series.
Maybe. It all depends. We'll see what happens in this final week. A lot of people are calling it quits already. They're throwing in the towel for both of these teams that we're speaking of in terms of the Lakers and the Celtics, both teams that I predicted to go to the NBA Finals, Lakers, Celtics, and they both are out here just selling the bag, just blowing the bag away, just whoosh, just giving out all the dollars. You know, you're taking these teams, but let's just dive right into it.
Yeah, man.
OBT, one big thing is just the non-competitive NBA Conference Finals.
Yep, you've got the Nuggets up 3-0. You've got the Heat up 3-0.
It's rough.
It's rough in the streets for the Lakers and the Celtics, two staple NBA teams, Zach. They seemingly can't get it together. It was really exciting that they made the conference finals. The NBA, I'm sure, was excited they might get a Lakers-Celtics NBA Finals.
Still possible.
It's still possible,
It's
but
like
it's not probable.
It's a 5% chance probably on.
Is that
on both
mathematical,
sides.
or is that just what you think?
That's just what I think. There's probably a 5.
It's probably less.
The Lakers probably may win their desperation game 4 out of desperation, only to go probably lose in Denver. So maybe not get swept on your home floor. It's what it may look like for them. And then like Boston, they started the series at home and lost the first 2 games at home. And they go on a road. They come out firing a little bit midway through the first. And then after that, it kind of just dials down. And then you got Gabe Vincent and Duncan Robinson all of a sudden. And who's the other guy, the third guy?
They're great. They're unbelievable basketball players. I don't know what you're saying.
Undrafted, unknown dudes just come out here and just play lights out. Oh, Caleb Martin. Shout out to J. Cole. Did you hear that story? J. Cole made sure Caleb Martin got on a roster.
Really?
And you fast forward, and now he's a pivotal piece in the playoffs. It's ridiculous.
The team is really made up of just some insane pieces. If you told me you have a team with Kevin Love, Gabe Vincent, Kyle Lowry, an injured Tyler Hero, and that team's going to be making the NBA Finals, I would have called you crazy. I would have called you crazy.
And they're on the brinks of literally going as an 8th seed, the Miami Heat. Miami Heat, led by Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo has also stepped up. It's just been a lot of – this team has done a complete 180. I don't care what no one says. Like, this is not the same team that we saw all NBA regular season. This is not the same Miami team that Zach just clowned all season long.
Nope.
It's not. You look at the shooting percentage. I showed Doug this morning, like, every pivotal starter – or every player in the rotation for the Miami Heat has elevated their shooting from the regular season.
Every player. They somehow shoot. They're 3-point shooters now. Zach, that's all they are. They hit 3-point shots.
They went from 27th.
Gabe Vincent, Caleb Martin, Kevin Love.
To number 1 in the playoffs. They went from 27th in the regular season to number 1 in the playoffs in terms of 3-point shooting. I hate it so much.
You hate it?
I hate it so much.
This team is just kind of coasting its way through the regular season.
I don't like that.
Maybe this is the new strategy teams do. They're like, we get the 7th or 8th seed, whatever. That's fine.
We'll get in the play-in. Like, that's a lot.
Change up the strategy.
That's a lot to withhold. You want to, first of all, you got to make the play-in. That's a do-or-die situation. Yep. Then you're playing, if you're 8th or 7th, you're playing the number 1 or number 2 seed. Like, that's a lot to sustain.
It's a lot to go right.
Yes, I don't know how much of a strategy that truly may be.
Yeah, shout out Coach Spoelstra though. Eric Spoelstra, man, he's
running laps around Joe.
Oh yeah. He's game planning like the best of them. He's making amazing halftime adjustments. He's getting his team prepared. The strategy that he went into against the Celtics has worked to a T. They're being aggressive on the perimeter. They're very active with their hands. They're stripping the ball from Tatum. Tatum's averaging almost 5 turnovers a game. Regular season, it was like 2.5. I mean, Tatum is struggling with this Miami defense. It's because the entire defense is focused on him. And seemingly what Eric Spoelstra's strategy is, you cut off Jayson Tatum, you cut off the Celtics. And seemingly it's working.
It's kind of sad because you would expect Joe Mazzulla. I feel like Joe Mazzulla is in the situation that Steve Nash was in, where he has two highly talented players, but he can't figure out how to get guys open or put them in a better situation, a better scoring matchup, whether it's a switch, whether it's a screen, whether it's a pin down, whatever scenario it may be, they're not getting that. And granted, also, I will say this. You watch this game, some of these guys, it's a make or miss league.
It is.
And some of these guys are just flat out missing shots, missing wide open shots. And then on the flip side, you got Miami Heat making some of the heaviest contested shots known to man. And we're going to get to that other team out west who refuses to miss any shots in Denver. We're going to get to that too. But just like
Jamal,
it's been time and time again in this Celtics series where it's just like they can't find a basket because the ball just won't go in for them. I saw Brown wide open a few times.
They airball.
Just flat out miss shots.
How many shots did they airball in game 3?
That's true.
More than 2 or 3. That's more than you want to airball.
And then you don't want to go scoreless in the fourth quarter of 3 straight playoff games. Jayson Tatum.
Yeah, what's wrong with that? He used all his scoring in game 7?
Probably for that
51
against Philly.
Yeah, that's it.
And you fast forward, it's been pretty rough offensively, especially 3-point shooting there. 1 for 14 in that last game between Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum.
Oh my God.
The Jays got to do better.
Yeah, they really do have to do better. We can move on because we're going to talk a little bit more about the Celtics, but let's talk about the Nuggets. As you talked about, they're hitting every shot under the sun. Jamal Murray is getting the power of God and is just going off whenever he wants to go off. They lead that series 3-0 over the Los Angeles Lakers. A lot of people thought Lakers may win back at home in game 3. Nope. Not the case. Nuggets came up.
You say that with such a smile on your face.
I love the Nuggets, dude. I love the Nuggets. And I've loved the Nuggets for years.
It's heartbreaking.
It's great. It's so fun to see. And I would love it to see LeBron in the finals. I thought that would have been great to see the Lakers in another finals that wasn't the bubble. But they got to try harder. They got to game plan better. They got to stop Jamal better. I don't know. There's a lot of things that they have to be doing better. But sometimes, like you said, it's a make and miss league. Nuggets are making their shots, and they're making some ridiculous ones.
Some making ridiculous shots. Jamal Murray in the home game. So game 2.
23 points in the fourth quarter.
Ridiculous.
23, I think it was.
He had a step back shot over AD for 3, and it was heavily contested. It's like, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Like, there's no answer for guys if they're making shots like that. Michael Porter Jr., a lot of people are surprised by him. I'm not. He's making the shots he's supposed to make. The 90 down to threes.
Finally.
Got a career high in assists, 6 assists. He's dishing the ball out. Now, Nikola Jokic looks like a normal big man right now. As of right now.
He's putting up non-triple doubles.
Yeah, ever since the first game 1, he's looked like just normal, like a normal player.
But he doesn't need to be special.
Because Jamal has been very
and Michael
special.
Porter. Yeah.
And Michael Porter has stepped up. Bruce Brown has contributed with his 13 to 17 points of contest.
Aaron Gordon's defense.
On the flip side, I do want to at least acknowledge this, Ben. I do want to at least say this. Darvin Ham, you are a rookie coach. Joe Mazzulla, yes, you are a rookie coach. So, yes, it does look like Mike Malone is running laps. And Joe Mazzulla, you're getting laps ran through you as well with Spoelstra and his adjustments throughout the game. But I think they just need to be better with the Lakers in terms of rotation. I don't want to see Dennis Schroeder play more than 20 minutes, which I know he probably will, Doug. He probably will play like 32 minutes, but I need Dennis Schroeder to not play 20 minutes. I need Vanderbilt to start the game from scratch, guarding my man's Jamal Murray. And I like Jamal, but I can't like him right now.
No?
I like Bam Adebayo, but I can't like him right now for Miami. Why? Because he played with Jimmy. And I ain't rolling.
You're not a Jimmy guy.
And Jamal rolling with the Doey son.
Yes.
I can't really rock. I can't rock with the Doey son.
Oh,
I got to hurt with 21. Joel.
Sorry that he's gonna have to win a title. He's gonna have to win a title. He's gonna be Finals MVP.
I hope not.
Gonna take that thing back to Eastern Europe. It's gonna be great. Gonna
just
go party in the clubs.
LA. Just come back. It's probably
gonna ride a donkey with the NBA Finals trophy. Like that is cool. Come on, that's gonna be fun.
So corny.
That's gonna be fun.
Super lame.
He's gonna be in the back. Well, yeah, it's
and then
they
got the Jokic brothers talking trash in LA, like to Jack Nicholson. It's just
a disrespect, man. I love it.
And then not even to mention Mike Malone. I gotta say this too. One more thing with Mike Malone, he's out here talking trash in the post game, talking about he's putting it in your pipe and smoke it.
Yeah.
Like this energy the Nuggets have right now, I just don't like it. But they have every right to do that because they're playing lights out, shooting amazing from the field, shooting amazing from the 3-point line.
Lakers aren't coming through.
And Brown out here shooting 15%.
Yeah, that's a little bit rough. Let's go to the big questions because we can still talk about these teams. There's still some big questions, even as these series look like they might be coming to a tail end.
Yeah.
Let's start down in South Beach with Miami Heat. Big question for the Heat, Zach, as we revisit this, because I think this is the third straight week we've had this question. Do you now believe in the Miami Heat, Zach Badgerhouse? Because week 1, 3 weeks ago, you did not. Week 2, you're starting to say, all right, maybe I should start believing them, but let's see how they play against a good Celtics team. We are now at the end of May. They're up 3-0 on the Celtics, knocking on the door of the NBA Finals. Do you still believe in the Miami Heat, or do you now believe in the Miami Heat after just being their number one hater?
I'm gonna die on that sword.
Yes.
I'm going to die on that sword and just flat out. I'm never gonna.
You're never gonna
believe in this team. Just die on that sword. You know the little meme that Katie used to put up with all the swords at the cartoon? Like, that's how I'm feeling right now.
They're going to be doing their NBA Finals victory parade after beating the Nuggets, and you're going to be like, I still don't believe in them. They're frauds.
Heat culture, what? I don't even know what that is. No, but I think it's more so about Boston losing than it is Miami winning. How would you assess it? Like, when you watch these games, wouldn't you say Boston's really blowing it more so than Miami's taking it to them? Like,
I would maybe if we're talking after game 1, maybe even a little after game 2, I would have said Boston's blowing this thing. They're just not playing well. They play a little better, maybe they'll win. After game 3, this is Miami. This is who the team is. They prepped well. They strategized well. They attacked the weaknesses of the Celtics. And the Celtics have no response. The no response thing, I think you could say, is the fault of the Celtics. But this is the Miami Heat series. This is Eric Spoelstra's coaching to a T. He knows exactly how to strategize against his opponents. They go on the road and they win. They come home and they win. And not only that, they win without Jimmy Butler. He had, 16 points in game 3? The role players were the reason they beat the Celtics. It wasn't a Jimmy Butler game. It wasn't 40 points from Jimmy Butler. It wasn't him taking over in the fourth quarter. This was guys like Gabe Vincent going off. This was guys like Kyle Lowry helping out run the offense. Duncan Robinson taking it to the basket, laying up like an athletic player. Caleb Martin hitting 3. So this was a game where Jimmy Butler didn't really have to do much. It was the rest of the Miami Heat, which tells me this is a complete team. This is a legit team.
Oh my God.
They did it without Jimmy's help. They did it by themselves.
This is so
and they ran rings around the Celtics.
It's so painful.
That's all it is.
Doug, let me tell you, this weekend was like being strapped to a chair in a thriller movie and just watching something that's just gruesome and just brutal. You just never want to see, and it's just happening over and over, and it's like replaying over and over and over. But it's 2 different games.
It's like the Clockwork Orange meme.
It's 4 different teams, 2 different games, but it's like watching the same thing over and over again, just on repeat, and you're losing your mind because you can't get up because you're strapped to the chair. Like, that's how I felt watching the Celtics, and that's how I felt watching the Lakers in these conference finals.
Doug, what we got to hear? Is it the Celtics winning this series, or is the Celtics losing the series, or the Heat winning this series?
I think it's the Heat more so, but you hit it on the head. The Celtics giving up game 3, they lay down. And if they do that, then you got a point. But you talk about all the role players on Miami. I told Zach this earlier. Cody Zeller is the highest drafted player on the Heat in this rotation.
I love it. When Cody Zeller's doing, Jaylen Brown got like ankle broken by Cody Zeller. You got to retire. Cody Zeller put him on his butt.
Oh my God.
On the baseline. Cody Zeller. He's 40 years old.
But that's what I'm saying. Who is it more so about? I think it's more so about Boston just falling apart. They really fell apart. Like, you heard it in the post game from Joe Mazzulla. Like, it just sounds like a disconnect. And they extended him too, so that's going to be interesting.
They did.
And
so
that plagues the next question.
Look at you transitioning.
You know what I'm saying? Should the Celtics bring Joe Mazzulla back, Ben, after this season? You know what I'm saying? They extended him in February after the Ime Udoka situation. You look at it now, like, it looked like a smart hire. Remember, we talked about it. He had one of the best offenses regular season.
Yeah, like historically of all time.
And you fast forward now, they're in the Eastern Conference Finals, but they're on the brink of being swept.
Yes.
On the brink of being swept. Lost the first 2 games of this playoff series at home.
Yeah.
Joe on the hot seat.
And they lost the game against the 76ers too, that they could have put them away early in the series. You know, it's not great looking for Joe. And this was kind of the topic that was on Twitter all second half of the game because it was a blowout and everyone's saying got to fire Joe Mazzulla. And then you had people on Twitter saying, why are you blaming Joe Mazzulla? These guys aren't making shots.
So it's give and take, right? So which part of that is that, right?
I hate to be the both sides guy for something like this, but in a situation like this, the coaching was horrible. And he admitted it after the game. He said, I didn't prep my guys. We didn't prepare for this. We didn't do well. It's terrible. But again, it's a make or miss league.
Yep.
Tatum's got to make his shots.
Brown does too. He got wide open shots in the corner. You got to knock him down.
Yeah, and he looked timid at times in game 3. He looked passive to some extent. Marcus Smart's got to hit his shots.
Like he was going at those guys. Like you said Zeller put Jaylen Brown on his butt.
Yeah.
Well, Bam had a spin move to the basket for a nice tomahawk jam.
Yeah. A couple alley-oops. Like there was the make or miss part of this. They're not playing well. Like individually, the Celtics are not playing well.
It's like ISO ball.
As a group, they're clearly not prepared, and that's on Mazzulla. They clearly aren't even like mentally ready for
the adjustments
a game like
too.
This.
It's like, okay, you see a lot of man, but Spo likes to mix it up, so he'll go zone. So he may put 3-2. He may go 1-3-1. He may switch it up. Boxing one may come out of there sometimes. You never know with Spo. So it's like you have to game plan for the game plan.
What major adjustments have you seen Mazzulla make?
It hasn't really been very many.
No.
Fairness to on the other side, the Nuggets side, right? Who's going to win that Western Conference Finals? We'll get to that. But that's a tough question for the same person with Darvin Ham.
Yeah,
first-year coach.
I think the Darvin Ham situation is a little different because I know he's a freshman coach, but on teams with LeBron, I'm always a little weary to blame the coach first because it's LeBron. I mean, he's the closest thing we have to a player coach in this day and age.
That's true.
This is his team. This is his guys. They're going to listen to LeBron before they listen to Darvin Ham. You would be stupid not to. So I'm a little less blaming him, and I think there are personnel decisions he can make, matchup situations that he could make for sure that he hasn't, that would make this team better. But for Mazzulla, you have a young superstar core. They're in their mid-20s. He should be the guy that makes this game plan. I don't know. The contract extension probably seemed a little premature, and I think the reason they were so good in the regular season is because it is regular season NBA basketball. They just out-talented these other teams.
Okay.
They out-talented them. And you have teams, coming off back-to-backs. You have teams on a stretch of 3 games in 5 nights that maybe don't fully prepare for a team like the Celtics. Or they see the Celtics, they see them playing well, chalk it up as a loss before they even play them. So the Celtics played really well during the regular season. Playoffs, completely different animal. And because Mazzulla's a first-year coach, maybe he didn't fully know what to expect or know how to prepare for that. So you could give him the benefit of the doubt that way, but he's getting run around in circles by a much more experienced head coach. It's not a good look.
The Adrian Bronner meme, I'm getting cooked.
Yeah, he's getting cooked. That's what it is. And do you fire a guy because of a bad series like this with a really young core that still has a lot of potential? Probably not.
But you wouldn't be surprised is what it sounds like,
I wouldn't be
too.
surprised.
Yep.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Celtics are like, well, we brought you in. We thought you were better. You were a replacement anyway. We're going to get rid of you. Like I could totally see them doing that. I don't think they will. But it's tough not to overreact to a situation like this because this is bad. This is a historic loss, 25 points in the playoffs to an 8 seed.
To an 8 seed. First time
historic.
ever. And it was first time ever.
That's rough.
So,
Denver, big question?
Yeah. So if the Lakers lose, I'm going to hate it so much.
Yep.
If the Lakers lose to the Denver Nuggets, who will become the Western Conference Finals MVP?
Gotta be Jamal.
Gotta be Jamal?
Gotta be Jamal.
Dougie, I wasn't expecting that answer.
Gotta
be quite honest with you. I just thought he was going to roll with his Michelin man.
Western Conference semis?
Doe's son.
Jokic.
Okay.
Fine. I mean, this has been Murray. They don't win game 2 without him. They don't win game 2 or 3, honestly, without Jamal Murray.
I was hoping you would have said 3-2 because I know Jokic came alive a little bit in that fourth quarter.
But that first half from Jamal was stupid good. They don't win game 2 or 3 without Jamal. It's got to be Jamal.
You know how many points the backcourt for the Los Angeles Lakers combined for in that game?
Was it like under 20?
Keep going.
No. Under 15?
Keep going.
Under 10?
Bro, it was legit 8 points between D'Angelo Russell.
That's not good.
And Dennis Schroeder.
Not good.
Especially out of D'Lo. I can't. Come on, man.
That's not good.
I need 17, 18
He was so good
minimum.
in the last series, too.
Definitely was a lights out shooter in the last series. You fast forward this series, he's nowhere to be found. Like Where are you, sir? Dennis Schroeder, I don't know if you're trying to, quote unquote, focus your attention on defense to guard Jamal Murray, but it ain't cutting it. It's not working.
It is
clearly.
perfect. Perfect transition. We go to the Lakers. Big question. Where do they upgrade?
They need to upgrade.
Clearly point guard.
Clearly the point guard position. And I think they need depth on the big man tip. You think about the bubble. I think one of the main reasons why the Lakers was able to beat the Denver Nuggets back then was because they had the depth of like a guy like a Dwight Howard. Now, say what you want about Dwight Howard, but he was so serviceable in that championship run for the Los Angeles Lakers. It's not even funny, especially with the front court. You got to have bodies to be big enough bodies to be able to throw at a Nikola Jokic, bro. You see how big this dude is. You see what he's able to do from free throw line all the way down to the paint. He'll just turn his back.
Bullying AD.
And whichever way you want to go, east or west, we're going to go that way. So it's just like you got to have some depth so you're not in foul trouble from Anthony Davis, or so Anthony Davis can be able to do multiple things on both sides of the floor and not have to hone in on one area versus another. I mean, he's still playing relatively decent, Anthony Davis, but outside of that 40-point game, it's been just like regular AD.
Yep, he's got to play better. He really does. Should we go on word on the street?
Yeah.
See what the folks are talking about on the street, on Twitter, wherever it is. Of course, got to mention the NBA draft lottery. Congratulations, San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah, look at the Spurs.
Greg Popovich out of possible retirement. He's back. He's back.
Yeah, I think that's funny.
Greg P's
I
back.
think he's going to at least stay
Coach
least
Pop.
2 seasons to coach Victor Wembanyama. I mean, I know I would have that opportunity. You got a dude that's 7'4", so he's taller than Rudy Gobert. He has a handle and a shot that's kind of similar to Kevin Durant's, and he's active and mobile like a Giannis. This dude is an alien.
Yeah,
like LeBron said, Victor Wembanyama is an alien. So he's probably going to be number 1 overall pick. Put all your chips in where you may.
For Victor, yeah, and it's going to be
Rick for Vic is over.
You're going to have to build a team around him. And if you're going to have a team that's going to build up a guy who has a lot of potential, it's going to be Spurs. It's going to be Spurs. Of course it had to be the Spurs. It has to be.
The French connection.
Yeah, you got, apparently, too, you got Manu, you got Tim Duncan, and you got Tony Parker all coming in to teach him, coach him, help out.
Boris
with
Diaw,
Vic.
I think he's on the Boris Diaw's on the bench.
He's going to teach him about some wine.
What a name, right?
Vic's going to become like a wine connoisseur because of Boris Diaw, and it's going to be great. You know, you're bringing the band. Oui, Boris Diaw. It's going to be great. You're going to have Victor with some big post moves because of Boris. Like they're bringing the band back together to help out this guy. Sky's the limit.
Sky's going to be limit for this dude without question.
It's going to be great. Let's see what else. Today, Melo.
Yeah.
Finally retired.
Stay
Mello. 19 seasons. I thought he was retired, kind of.
Don't do that.
I kind of thought he was
You
retired.
can come back, play tonight if you want to.
Yeah,
Suit up for the Lakers tonight. Shoot some of them baseline threes because they can use it, I promise you. But
Score more points than D'Lo.
Yeah, Carmelo had a fantastic career.
He was on the Bulls for a hot second.
He was?
He was on the Bulls. Didn't play a game, but he was on the Bulls for a couple days.
Remember that? I know he was on the Atlanta Hawks for a couple days. Didn't play.
He was on the Bulls for a couple days.
The Atlanta Hawks tweeted out his jersey, so make sure you see that. Go check that out on Twitter. They tweeted out his jersey for his one-day contract. Yeah.
No, he was. I think he was part of like some weird trade, and they released him.
Melo.
Yeah, but
Chicago Bulls.
What a career he had. Honestly.
22 points per game, 6 rebounds. 10-time All-Star, college champion at Syracuse as a freshman. Definitely will be a Hall of Famer. No questions asked about that. And just an all-around bucket getter.
Yeah, he was on the Bulls for 10 days.
That's crazy.
January 22nd, 2019 to February 1st, 2019. What a career on the Bulls, honestly. Didn't miss a shot.
Didn't make one
Didn't
either.
miss a shot. That's all right. He just didn't miss one, though.
Oh, man.
Listen, Melo was great. He was part of, that kind of like that old core of guys we grew up watching with Melo and LeBron and Wade and Kirk Heinrich, all those guys, the big four, all those guys.
2003 class, yep.
Yeah,
that's the 03 class. He did want to throw in Kirk Heinrich.
Yeah, throw in Kirk Heinrich.
Just because he's Chicago Bulls.
He was a big guy. He was part of that draft class. He was just as good as anyone else. But he was great. He was fun. He was a walking bucket. Fun to play in 2K.
2K13, baby. Carmelo Anthony, you a legend, baby. NBA 2K13, I don't miss. And I'm guaranteed to get 40 points with my boy.
With Melo?
With Melo, 2K13, guaranteed. I don't care if I got to shoot 30 shots. We're going to be 22 for 30.
That's very Carmelo Anthony. That's exactly how Melo will play.
Yes, sir.
Let's go to the hotline.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have Doug give us the hotline questions, comments, concerns. You can find us, send us anything you want. Anytime, anywhere. You can send us on YouTube. You can send us on
Twitter.
Facebook. You can send us on Twitter. Yeah, tweet at us on Twitter.
This came from.
We have the hotline, the literal hotline, 773-273-9088 to give us a call. Leave us a message. What do we got, Doug?
Bryson Philly wants to know, Boston, still a legit team?
You're really talking trash. That's really a facetious question because
They still legit?
He is from Philly,
knows.
keep in mind.
So is it offensive then if we say they're not legit? Because they beat the 76ers.
Yeah, they did beat the Sixers.
The Sixers got beat by a
Even though
non-legit team?
I'm pretty confident that Bryce roots for the Pistons and not the Sixers.
Oh, that's even worse. 5th pick Pistons over here.
Right. But however, I will say this. No, Boston's not legit. And I don't know if they need to go back to the drawing board and figure out that same question we asked last week about Tatum and Brown and if it's working. Because just like their comments in the media, like I don't really like what they say post game, especially Jaylen Brown. Like Jaylen Brown, he kind of talks a little feisty. He's like,
yeah, he's
well,
clearly
we gotta
annoyed.
point fingers, but he's one like not to point
Look in the
fingers,
mirror, my guy.
But it's like I don't. Yeah, it's rough over there. It's definitely a rough situation. I think for personality wise, like I don't know if they can keep it together over there. Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown. I don't know. It's fishy.
What else we got?
Next one, it is Alex in Michigan talking about Nuggets. Denver Nuggets simply cannot miss a shot. So I'll ask you this. What, if anything, can stop the Nuggets? What say you?
All right. I think I could try to answer this, Ben.
Okay.
This is my defensive strategy going into game 4.
All right.
This is what I would do if I was Darvin Ham.
All right.
Like I would start the game out with Rui Hachimura, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, Austin Reeves, and not Dennis Schroeder. So D'Angelo Russell or Jared Vanderbilt. More than likely Jared Vanderbilt.
Jared Vanderbilt too. Yeah, he's a good
I
option.
need him to start just so you can have a big enough defender, a wing defender type, to be able to guard and contain Jamal Murray. Just make it harder and tougher for him. Granted, we've seen him make a lot of tough shots in these last 2 games, like a lot of them, especially going after that 30 ball in the first half. Like he made some tough baskets, but just make it more and more and more difficult for him to get these shots off and make him work on a defensive end. Like don't allow him to just sit in the corner. You make sure he's being a part of these screen and rolls. He's getting switched on for LeBron James so LeBron James can have that mismatch. You know, those sort of things is what I'm looking for in game 4 from Darvin Ham. It's less Dennis, less of the bromance. Because I told Dougie Fresh about the bromance as it relates to Dennis Schroeder and Darvin Ham in their Atlanta days. So I'm hoping that can all change. We'll see. There's really no strategy for the boy Nikola Jokic. He's a center guard.
Yeah, he's going to get his.
He's going to get his.
I don't know if the only thing that honestly, my answer to what can stop the Nuggets is the Nuggets. And we've seen this in the regular season. They'll go scoreless for a quarter. They'll just stop scoring and they'll stop defending. They'll just mentally collapse and physically not be able to make shots. We haven't seen that in the past 3 or 4 games. Like this is some of probably the best basketball I have seen the Nuggets play in their entire careers of this little core that they have with Murray and Porter and Jokic. But there will be times that I have seen where they just collapse for a quarter and they lose like a 20-2 run.
Yes, like they nearly lost. It's so crazy, Doug, because they literally almost lost game 1 and game 2, only to look superb in game 3.
Yep.
Like, and granted, your Doe's son, 34 points, 21 rebounds, 14 assists in game 1 was chef kiss. Amazing. And they still almost lost the game.
Yep. Yeah, it's a weird team. So hopefully they're focused. It seems like they're really on top of things. They know what they're doing. They don't go through those stretches where they can't score. But the only thing to me that can stop the Nuggets at this point is the Nuggets. Is the Nuggets' poor shooting.
So that's going to conclude this edition of the Points in the Paint podcast. When we return next week, hopefully we still are in the conference finals, but that's highly unlikely as we conclude this edition. I want to shout out my man Dougie Fresh because we appreciate him so much for holding it down and getting in on that hotline too. We appreciate you, buddy. Ben Wittgenstein, that's my guy. He's sitting next to me. You know how we do every week. You make sure you follow our handles too, respectively, of course. Got to mention that. But catch this podcast every week. Make sure you follow @PointsPaint wherever you get your social handles, whether you're on Instagram, whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on Twitter, even on TikTok. You'll see these lovely faces. We'll be dropping YouTube clips as well, and you will hear from us next week.